All right, it's the DV Sports and Gaming Podcast. We are live here with DV Socks, DV Macho, and DV Slasty. We're here for episode number 4. We've got some good stuff to talk about this episode. It's going to be lit. We're going to talk about sports. We're going to talk about football. We got DV Bean interview to cover. We got some good stuff come out. But we also want to start. We're going to start by saying we're going to give a little bit about ourselves. We said we're going to do that about every episode, let you guys figure out who we are and like what we do. So I'm going to go ahead and kick that off. So I'm going to start off by the sports that I played when I was growing up. So I was raised playing everything. I played soccer. I played a little football and then realized I weighed 110 pounds and I couldn't play football.
You don't have the frame
basketball. For it. Yeah, I didn't. I was playing receiver and it still was too much. Went into basketball a little bit. I was really good at basketball. I slaughtered Slasty pretty often in the front yard in the street. So that's.
I got stubby arms.
Let's make that known. Slasty got slaughtered. And then I really took off on baseball. I think baseball was my big thing. That's what I went on through high school, and then. Dude, decided to go into the.
You're an elite bowler, dude. You're leaving that out. That's a sport.
Yeah, that's a sport now. It's trying to be Olympified too. They're trying to make it an Olympic sport. Yeah, I bowl competitively. I shot a 299 last night. We're not going to talk about it though, because then I'm going to get mad. But that's what I did growing up. And we're going to also talk about our favorite game ever. I don't want to get too deep because this may be a topic later on. I'm just going to say what it is. Modern Warfare 2 for me. Game of all time right there. Whoop, whoop.
I guess you can go, Junior.
Yeah, let's kick it over to Junior.
All right. DV Macho in the house, a.k.a. J-Dog. I'm just kidding. I just made that up. I go by Junior.
J-Trash.
All right. Sports I played, man. So growing up back in the day, I'm an old man. I used to play outside every day, and it was basketball, football, just out in the streets. But it was basically basketball, football. I played a little bit of baseball, actually, like in the school, parks and stuff. What the hell's going on?
What is happening right now?
But for school, I played, I played football, and I was in wrestling, actually. I was a wrestler.
Dude, I remember going to watch you wrestle. That was intense. Y'all's team was good that year.
Yeah, wrestling was fun, man.
You and Savando, right?
Me, Svando, Mario. I mean, our whole team. That was such a great experience. It was a good time. That was by far the most rewarding thing I did playing in school sports. All right, yeah. So it was a great time being a wrestler. I really enjoyed it. The traveling, going to different schools, the competitive, as a team sport, but it was also a single person sport too, one-on-one competition. And then favorite game for me, man, it's kind of a toss-up. It's either NCAA, 13 football or Fight Night Champion, which I'm probably going to give Fight Night Champion the nod.
Dude, that's a prime boxing game.
Hell out of that game. Just
I think
you still play NCAA.
Way too many times on that.
I still play
still
NCAA.
have an Xbox 360 for NCAA.
And I have Fight Night also. I still play that game. I was playing it yesterday, actually. But yeah, that's my two things about me. What you got, Sam? DV Slasty. Let's get nasty.
Oh man, you gotta stop doing that. So for me, I guess sports I played growing up. I didn't ever really play football. Actually, I played in middle school a little bit. In middle school I played basketball, football. The most fun I had was actually playing tennis. I did that for 7th grade. That was pretty fun. And then I played baseball my entire life.
Why are you laughing, Paul?
Was pretty good at that. Made it to college. So college baseball was fun. Basically just a practice player, though, for 2 years, and that was about it. Then I got my degree, so that was good.
Caught foul balls, that was it?
Yeah. I got really good at catching pop flies behind my back because it's all I did all day. Anyways, other than that, I guess that's pretty much it for the sports side. Favorite game ever? What did you said? Paul said Modern Warfare 2.
I said Modern Warfare 2.
Fight Night Champion.
Fight Night
Friday
Champion.
Night at Freddy's.
I'm kind of drawing a blank.
Dude.
Oh, dude. I know what it is. I it's come to me. MVP Baseball 2005.
Oh my god.
Had Manny Ramirez on the cover. It was the year the Red Sox won the World Series.
Dude, that was a
game
prime
was so good. The best baseball game ever. Anybody that's played it knows that game was the best.
Did it have Mark McGwire in it?
I don't know, man.
If it did, I used to hit bombs with
I
him.
remember just pitching with Raleigh fingers for some reason. I don't know.
Raleigh fingers.
Yeah, dude, I don't know why.
What a callback player. Jesus
That's
Christ.
awesome.
That is so freaking awesome. Good games,
All right,
man.
well,
Good games.
that's a little bit about us, our games. I think it'd be a good topic maybe for the next episode to get a little in detail about all those games that we talked about. Because there's definitely some like historic games that we used to play and rage on together. But we're gonna get into the sports side because golly, this past weekend was crazy in the NFL.
Man, such a good 2 weeks of football. It was
Dude, 2 back-to-back
games.
weeks of insane games.
Yeah, well, you guys want to talk about Bengals Chiefs first?
Bengals,
Chiefs.
We're gonna let you start.
Man, all right. So, your boy, DV Macho, going to give a little self-praise. Wild card, he went with Bengals going to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
You were right there. I'll give you
that was
some
a good
credit
call,
there.
man.
That was a good call. Also, my sleeper pick was the Rams. I went for
That was
You
my
don't get
sleeper
to say
pick.
that, dude. Though, like,
My sleeper pick was Bengals Rams, but we're not gonna talk about that.
I guess
Check
it
the
was
tapes.
my fault for going Cowboys as my actual pick and
that
my
was
sleeper
disgusting. That was
Yeah,
awful.
that was a terrible pick.
pick. Can't
You
go-
may as well win Eagles.
I doubled down
Anyways.
on them. They were my sleeper pick too.
Bengals Chiefs though, man, the first half of the game, Bengals looked terrible. They looked they were getting destroyed on the line. Their offensive line could not do anything. Their runs, they would like break a 10-yard run every occasionally. Otherwise they were getting stopped at the line.
Yeah.
It was so bad of a game until the very end of the second
Into
quarter.
the second quarter.
They finally scored a touchdown where it made it like, okay, cool. They're not down by, however many it was. Cause I think at that point they were only down 11 or something like that. But anyways,
Yeah.
it was, I was like, okay, it's starting to get interesting. And then the second half of the game, completely different. Joe Burrow, that guy's the next Tom Brady, it feels like.
Dude, the game was crazy because it was a mimic version of week 17 or week 18, I guess, since they added a game. Week 18. They were down the same amount of points at half.
Yeah.
And the exact same thing happened. It was the exact same football game, which is crazy.
Yeah,
Joe
that is
Burrow
really
was
What
crazy.
they
bad
score
in the first
21
half.
unanswered points.
Yeah, Joe Burrow was bad in the first half. Same thing as that week. Patrick Mahomes was near perfect in the first half. Same thing. And then the game-changing play of the game was obviously the end of the second half. They should have kicked a field goal, the Chiefs. Patty Mahomes got big-headed and threw a little dump pass to Tyreek and didn't get any points. I think that
Very
was the game-changer.
uncharacteristic. Very uncharacteristic of the
And then immediately
Chiefs.
after, I think he just lost confidence after that, Patrick Mahomes, because immediately after that play in the second half, he just missing dump downs. He was not Patrick Mahomes anymore.
So hopefully
Yeah.
I'm not skipping over too much of the game. Like if there's anything else you guys want to highlight in the second half, I'm kind of jumping towards the end of the second half. What do you guys think of Pat Mahomes? Like they had a possession with the ball to win it, and then he ends up getting sacked for a 20-yard loss. It was such a terrible sack to take. It
Dude,
seemed like he was panicking, and then he fumbled in the overtime, right? Was it a fumble?
He fumbled and they recovered.
And then he threw an
extremely
interception.
lucky. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think his nerves, I think he just completely lost confidence. He tried to do too much with the scrambles. I mean, he was running around for 10 seconds trying to make a play, and then he'd run backwards 10, 15 yards. And
Which
that's
he
worse
did.
than
He
just
did
throwing
make
the ball
some.
away.
He did make some plays with those scrambles, at the
Yeah.
beginning of the game. He did, but at the end of the game, they were at the 2 or 3 yard line or something like that, and it seemed like they were trying to run the clock out while still trying to score.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
they thought they were going to be capable of doing that because they're the Chiefs.
Hey, did you
And
guys
man,
did you guys see it on the not in overtime, but in the fourth quarter, their last drive, going for that win, and when they were draining the clock out, like you're talking about, they had that last play where he did fumble it and they recovered it. Did you see that he had Travis Kelce wide open crossing the middle on that play?
I did not see that.
Wide open, and he didn't throw it. He looked right at him and he didn't throw it. I don't know what happened. If you go back and watch that, he had him wide open just on a normal cut up the middle to the post. That was just one thing I noticed, but
yeah, I did not see that. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, he was a different quarterback that second half of the game.
For real.
And that was a crazy exciting game. But then that took us into the next game, Rams-Niners,
which was also a banger game. Golly.
So and these, I feel like these games the last 2 weeks have progressively gotten better as the game continued. So this was a very defensive game in the beginning. It was hard for them to score anything. It was very defensive. It was
they're good defenses,
great
right?
defenses.
You got Aaron Donald on one end just being stout, and then you got
Joey Bosa.
Jalen Ramsey
on the
was
other side.
talking. Bosa, the Niners they're a good team. But that came down to the wire also, and honestly, the Niners should have won on a Matthew Stafford standard interception to lose the game.
Dude. Literally, so a play like that is why we'll talk about Super Bowl picks later, but I think that's going to be a key player, a throw like that will probably be picked off by the Bengals. But yeah, he was prime Matthew Stafford. Bad throw downfield to the safety and just bricks for hands, man.
Yeah, that's why he's playing safety and not corner or receiver.
Exactly,
used
to be a receiver.
Catch. Jesus, that was crazy. But
did anything really stand out to you guys from that game as far as big plays or turnovers or anything like that?
Debo Samuel,
dude. Debo Samuel is a playmaker.
That guy is.
They've had some elite talent on the
bad
49ers, man, and they haven't pulled out a championship.
Jimmy G, he's not the guy.
They're just lacking
Is
at
that what
quarterback.
you guys think it is?
That's it, man. I think it's just lacking at quarterback. He just can't. He was good all year in the fourth quarter, which I'm going to say again.
Who was there before him? Alex Smith, right? It was Alex Smith when they had good teams and they still couldn't get over the hump?
It was Alex Smith, and then I think Jimmy G, and then Alex Smith went to the Chiefs, and then he got dropped for Patty Mahomes.
But even when they had Alex Smith, dude, they had some good defenses.
Can't get over that.
They had what's his name who was kneeling. Why am I blanking on his name?
Kaepernick.
Yeah, Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, Kaepernick.
Yeah, Kaepernick was a good quarterback.
Dude, they've been close for 10 years.
They've had really competitive
just
teams
can't
for the
get
past
there.
10 years. Yeah.
Yeah, they were it. But honestly, I think it's Jimmy Garoppolo. He's just not making those huge plays to win the game.
But the thing is, do y'all know the injuries he played with? He had a sprained shoulder and a broken thumb on his throwing hand.
Yikes.
And he's playing like that. I mean, I
don't know if it made a difference.
He said every time he threw the ball, he was in agony. I mean, you imagine throwing a football with a broken
thumb? You look like
thumb?
the same player.
That's true. I mean, he may have just been saying that for excuses. He's kind of trash.
That's pretty crazy, though.
Yeah.
Was that his throwing shoulder too, or no?
It was his throwing shoulder and a broken thumb on his throwing
I've seen
hand.
Tony Romo lead the Cowboys back to a win with a punctured lung, man. So I don't have any excuses for him.
I've also seen Tony Romo drop a field goal.
Oh my god! Hey, Jimmy G, he's had this sprained shoulder his whole career, or what?
That's what it seems like, almost, right? Just in the fourth quarter, though. First 3 quarters are okay. Before we go on, I feel like we should make Super Bowl picks, right?
Yeah.
I feel like
now that we know that's what we're holding out on.
Hey, Super Bowl picks. Let's effing do it. Let's fucking go.
Let's go, dude.
Let's go. What do we got?
First ever Super Bowl picks from the DV podcast. This is huge.
Oh, this is exciting. You know what? We're gonna go with Sam first because we all know Sam's gonna pick the loser.
Yeah, I can't even argue with that at this
What do you think? What do you think here?
All right, I gotta break it down in my head real quick.
Hell yeah, do the facial expression. Hell yeah, break it down, dude.
what's going to happen in the playoffs in the NFL? The Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. No, I'm just kidding. If I have to pick a team, which I do, I think it's too good of a storyline for Matthew Stafford to not get it. So I'm going to go Rams. Matthew Stafford gets his ring after all the years of playing on the Detroit Lions that suck, just wasting his whole career. I go Rams.
Sam's got
Let's go to you, Junior.
By 7.
All right.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know, I've actually thought about this a lot too. I was a big believer in the Bengals, and man, I was pretty happy with that pick because I thought they were going to get there. Yeah, and they're really good. Burrow is really good. They got a lot of talent, but that offensive line versus that defensive line is going to be the thing that makes me make my choice. Their offensive line is their weakness, and that defensive line for the Rams is a strength, and I think that's going to be the difference in this game. Also, I think Jalen Ramsey's he's going to do some things I think that's going to help. And ultimately, I think it's going to be the Rams that pull out and become the next Super Bowl champions.
Is Jalen Ramsey going to be that defensive player that gets the interceptions that I was talking about?
Is that what we're going to go with? We're calling the headline Jalen Ramsey an interception to change, get some momentum going for the Rams?
Jalen Ramsey interception to seal the deal.
Okay.
All right.
That's my prediction.
All right.
So this is a very hard game for me because I'm a big LSU fan, big Joey B fan. It's hard for me to go against the Bengals here. Underdogs all playoffs, man. That was like when Junior said Bengals, I was all for it. I was happy, man. You should have seen me watching that game. I was on the edge of my seat. Look at Desiree's Snapchat. Game. Look at DV Derp's Snapchat. I'm literally like 2 feet from the screen watching the Bengals play. I'm about the Bengals, man. And the strength of the Rams is their D-line and their corners. But I think the second and third corners of the Rams is going to hurt them. And Joey B obviously can work with his line. He's won 3 games in a row, and he got sacked 9 times against the Titans.
That's true.
So I think he's going to be able to overcome his O-line. He's got the pocket. He can move. I think T. Higgins is probably going to go for maybe 9 or 10 catches,
he makes some big
130
catches,
yards.
Man.
I think he's going to be the game changer. I think Jamar Chase may get like 3 to 5 and like 60 yards, maybe a touchdown. I think it's going to be close. I'm going to go 27-24 Bengals. Bengals by 3.
I was thinking 27. I was thinking 27-20 Rams. So that was I said by 7, but that's what I was thinking.
Why not go 27-24 on another McPherson field goal, right? He's been clutch all playoffs.
That's a good call.
Jesus, that guy, man, that team is full of crazy young talent.
Dude, did you guys?
They're going to be good for a while.
Did you guys see the interview where Joe Burrow was talking about his kick? And he's like, yeah, McPherson came by before the kick and gave us like a practice swing with his leg. And after the swing, he was like, well, guess we're going to the championship, boys. And then, like, ran out there and made the field goal.
They're just so confident, man. They're underdogs, and they're just playing great football. And their weakness is the O-line, and they're still winning. And I feel like there's both ends to the story. You got the Matthew Stafford playing with the Lions all year, and he's finally in the Super Bowl with a good team. And then you got the underdogs of Joe Burrow.
There's so much
young kids
on it, dude. There's so much writing on it for Matthew Stafford.
It's such a story-filled Super Bowl. It's definitely one of the best Super Bowls in a while.
I couldn't be happier, honestly, with the quarterbacks that are matched up.
Yeah, I think so.
Everybody loves these 2 quarterbacks. Nobody dislikes Joe Burrow unless you're an Alabama fan, right? So
exactly.
Even then, I think they probably like.
You gotta respect them, right?
They gotta respect them. That was one of the best teams ever.
Dude, speaking of respecting talents, though, what about Tom Brady, dude? Are we gonna talk about Tom Brady?
We're talking about the first time or the second time?
Retire. I mean, what are you doing?
So let's talk about let's talk about the first time that Tom Brady retired. What did you guys think?
I mean, it was he kind of led up to it. Honestly, it felt like when he said like, you have to be like all in on this. Like he didn't know what he was going to do at the end of that game.
Yeah.
he didn't know if he wanted to put the time and effort and his body and like all of it like into it again. So he was kind of leading you to believe, hey, this may be it. And then when it came out, I was like, okay, yeah, like Tom Brady retires. Like, I mean, it sounds like that's where it was going. The more surprising thing was when he was unretired, where I was like,
what was the official announcement? It came from his agent, right? It was like his agent
released a statement.
Yeah, agent says he's not retired fully yet.
His agent was like, Tom Brady is going to be the only one who releases a statement about retirement. I was like, bruh, Adam Schefter is reporting this, bro. Adam Schefter don't lie. He's retired.
Yeah, Adam
2 days later, we got the second retirement of Tom Brady.
Hey, it was a big story that he left out the Patriots in his initial statement completely. I know there's only so many words you can put on an Instagram post, and that's what I feel like it came down to. And I think
that was a long post, though.
It was a long post, but he did leave them out completely.
He did. It sounds like him and Bill Belichick just were like not there. Like, I mean, it was almost just like a coach and quarterback.
Can you blame him though? Can you blame Tom Brady? Like, he won that franchise multiple championships, and as soon as Garoppolo came around, Belichick was so ready to be done with him. Yeah. That level of disrespect, you know, Belichick's looking out for the future, but he's the GOAT, man. You don't just run him off.
Exactly.
I think it's ego from both. Honestly, I think they're
both the GOATs.
I honestly think that Tom Brady really believes that he kind of showed them, hey, I won another Super Bowl.
Yep, he won that ego challenge for sure.
I was the reason. Like, it is me. Who's the one with another Super Bowl since then?
He won the first year with the new team.
Dude, with the Buccaneers. Like, the Buccaneers were...
They're like the Jaguars, right? Or like the Bengals.
They were having a bad run, and he went to the Bucs, and everybody was like, "Whoa,
turn around!"
They were like, and then we were like, "Oh, they have some talent, you know." And then you start looking at it, and you're like, "Well, Tom Brady is a big difference."
But and then they got more talent too. Once they started getting more talent around him.
Fournette, dude, they just built a super team there. It's crazy, man.
But anyways, he retired again, and which was so funny to me too, because I was like, "This is such a joke. This is only for Tom Brady to be like, all right, guys, now I'm retired."
It's literally just for
what was that? Like,
he released like 300,000 pictures on Snapchat, just making different people and stuff. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
but it was a lot.
Everybody knew he was
300,000. Dude,
there was a lot.
It was a long
post. Did you see his story, man? There was endless amount of photos. It was like,
I'm kind of glad it
took me like 10 minutes to read.
That's at least a week for me.
So speaking about the NFL, Tom Brady, Patriots, I want to get into a little bit of what happened the week before this, because who knows what happens if the Chiefs and Bills game doesn't play out as it does. What if the Bills are in that game? Does it end up Bills, Bengals? How does that game play out? So I want to bring up the overtime rules of the NFL, which is a massive topic right now. And it originally came up, I think it was 2 years ago, before it might have been 3 years ago, before Tom Brady left the Patriots. He played Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, and they went to overtime, and Tom Brady got the ball off the coin flip, went down the field, won the game on a touchdown. And then the Chiefs submitted a request for a rule change because they didn't get to touch the ball. Now, 2022, the Chiefs are in probably the best playoff game in NFL history with the Bills, and they get the ball in their favor in overtime and score a touchdown and win the game. Let's talk about overtime rules in the NFL, because this is huge.
The next week, they win the coin toss again. And what do?
Oh, my God.
They don't score. They throw an interception, and they lose the game.
And the thing is, dude, he threw two interceptions. He threw an interception that got dropped, and then in the next play, he threw the actual interception.
He did.
He was struggling.
Like, for me, like, just based off of that alone, like, that's first off, the Chiefs, Jesus Christ, these overtime games, man, like these coin flips are crazy. And when that coin flip happened, I remember thinking, like, everybody has to be thinking the Chiefs just won this game because they won the coin toss.
I remember thinking when I saw the coin toss, why are they guessing freaking heads? Jesus, dude, everybody knows.
Tails never fails. Fucking tails never fails, man. What the hell is that?
I'm like, God damn it, heads? Are you kidding me? No wonder you lost.
But for me, they lost. So for me, the overtime rules it's fine. It's fine the way it is. It's a whole team sport. Defense can win it. Offense can win it. Like, make a stop.
And I heard somebody talking about this, and the percentages of the team who wins the coin toss and like gets the ball first, it's not like an overwhelming percentage that team wins automatically.
I'll make a statement.
I think it's less than 50%. So I mean, it's a toss up.
So I'm gonna make a statement off of that statement.
Okay.
Have you guys seen the percentage of Tom Brady's overtime games when he wins the coin toss?
No.
He's won 100% of those games.
He's also the greatest quarterback of all time.
If you have
like that about Tom Brady,
the GOAT quarterback and you win the coin toss,
it's over.
It's over.
It's like Sean McVay after a break or whatever.
So for me, I just hate the fact that obviously it's a team sport. You got offense, defense. I just hate the fact that the coin toss can decide the winner.
It is a lot of power on a chance, right?
Exactly. The Bills-Chiefs game was the best game I think I've watched in a long time. They scored like 25 points in 3 minutes, and there was like 6 lead changes. And then for it all to end on a heads or tails call,
you know what's crazy?
Rough.
That's the only game I didn't watch. And
dude, I don't know how.
I heard is this is the best game ever.
Dude,
like
that is probably the best and craziest game I've ever seen.
Of all the games I don't watch, that was the only one.
I said too, I was like, this is the game I don't know what's going to happen because the Bills are hot. They've just been like unstoppable, great defense, and the Chiefs have been hot on offense. Like, what's going to happen? And of course, it's a shootout, and then it comes down to a heads or tails call.
I guess the real topic we're talking about though is the rules, right? I mean, do you have any suggestions for what they could do different? I don't know how they fix it.
I don't think they go college because the college rules is just like
is
Pop
it just
Warner League.
Is the fix just saying touchdown doesn't win it? Like you get the ball.
I think that's
you
what
get
it
a
is.
chance with the ball no matter what.
Each team gets a possession,
but maybe they say like if you get the ball, you then
2-point
have
conversions
to try to
only.
You have to do 2-point conversion. Yeah, I think that's a fix.
I think
I'd be happy with that because you either win or lose,
you
right?
get 2 point.
Oh, hey, I got another one. I got a better one. All right, I got it, guys. All right, I got it.
Okay,
I got it.
Spit it out.
Quarterback 40-yard dash. Mano y mano.
Do you know what I'd rather see?
It could be backup quarterback. It doesn't matter.
I'd
Throw
rather
your
see
fastest quarterbacks out there on that touchdown line. 40-yard dash. Winner goes on.
I'd much rather see the centers go at it than the quarterbacks, to be honest. Imagine 350 pounders, bro. Just full sprint.
Honestly, dude,
dash.
most centers are probably faster than their quarterbacks.
Dude, they're athletic as hell.
Yeah, centers are a little more nimble.
Speaking about top-notch players, let's talk about what's going to be going on this weekend. The most unwatched All-Star game of all time. The NFL Pro Bowl.
Hey, the NFL Pro Bowl. What is it anymore?
Dude, let's talk about... So we're asking, what is the point of the Pro Bowl, right? So, is it even in Hawaii anymore? It's not even... That was the only cool part.
I don't know where it's at.
It was like in Hawaii, but now it's not anymore, so who even knows?
Dude,
the Pro Bowl...
There's like 10 people who make the Pro Bowl because the first 4 people opt out.
What happened?
So then they take the next 4.
What happened to like...
It's such a joke, man.
What happened to like longest quarterback throw, like fastest players race?
Dude, there was
I kind of
man.
like when they play dodgeball.
Man, see, there's probably some good.
They're bringing dodgeball back. Dodgeball's back this year.
But
I
man,
like
they
that.
used to do like a sled push race. Like, dude, that's
Actual like physical stuff. That's fun.
Can
to
you
watch.
imagine the fastest guys lining up and just booking it to see who's the fastest?
Like
that would be
Tyreek
so
Hill, Lamar
cool to
Jackson,
see.
Kyler Murray just sprinting in a
Like-
40-yard dash, see who wins.
dude?
Man, like there's some fast cornerbacks. Like that would be so cool to watch.
Like,
and they
like
just,
we want to see
they
these
don't
guys
that
do some
anymore.
stuff that's extreme level of talent without their football gear on, right?
Well, I think what it is just everybody's so scared that people are going to get injured now.
They don't wanna get
That's what
hurt,
it is, yeah.
Like it's
If
it's a kind of a joke now. Which,
if you guys
seriously,
have never watched the Pro Bowl, I probably still wouldn't watch it because I don't watch it. But if you do watch it, it's literally just like 50-yard haymakers. There's no run game because there's nobody who wants to run the ball and get hurt. I mean, the season's already over for most of them, but who still wants to get hurt? It's a contact sport. So literally it's like play action, fake. No, everybody knows they're not running the football because nobody runs the ball in the Pro Bowl. Play action, fake, 60-yard ball. Let's see who can catch it. That's pretty much the Pro Bowl. It's so stupid.
Dude, I remember when there used to be big hits in the Pro Bowl when I was a young lad. But
Dude,
nowadays
that's
it's
when it was prime. Now it's literally just like mini games. You think of just like the Pro Bowl games are more exciting.
Literally the best
That's what
part of
it's
the Pro
about.
Bowl right now is the dodgeball tournament. That's it.
That's definitely what it is.
I'm so hyped. I can't
Dude,
wait for
I
this dodgeball tournament.
love the dodgeball of it, dude. It's money.
Speaking of dodging balls,
Ugh.
how about baseball? And
so-
the steroid era getting dodged out of being in the Hall of Fame, minus David Ortiz, who was on the list, right? He was on the list of people who...
Dude, first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
David Ortiz. First ballot. But like
It was his city,
that's-
though.
I feel like David Ortiz gives a different feel than Barry Bonds and Roger
But
Clemens.
that's the thing. He wasn't a douchebag.
Exactly. Those guys were like the jocks you see in the weight room just about their pump, dude. Like this guy was like lived for his city. He lived Boston. I think that's why he got in.
That's also the thing, though, too, with David Ortiz is like, yeah, there is a report that came out that said that he, did steroids, but he never tested positive. He never actually failed a test, and it was like a report that didn't have a. Oh man, I don't even remember how to say it, but it wasn't a thing that says like, yes, we can confirm this report, like that. That wasn't something that came out. So it's a report based off of like an assumption, like, yes, he is.
Yeah, whereas
Like,
like
he did
Barry
steroids.
Bonds, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa,
Yeah.
Roger Clemens, there was hard evidence that they all did it and lied about it too, which made it even worse.
Exactly.
I remember them just lying about it was a big problem for people. So
I think
I don't know.
I think Barry Bonds is a grade A
Barry-
asshole.
Dude, but the dude
Which
hit
does not help.
700
Stats.
plus home runs. Like,
Have you seen
I don't
the
care
stats
if you're
of Barry
on.
Bonds?
I don't care if you're on steroids or not, man. To make that hand-eye coordination, I know how hard it is to hit a baseball, but not even off of major league pitchers. Off of major league pitchers for his whole career, and he's gonna hit 700 home runs. Like,
Everything
dude,
I saw.
God, it's
I
ridiculous.
saw a stat on Barry Bonds. It said if he got out like for I think it was like his last 750 at bats, his batting average would have been like 380 or like his like, and it was stupid. I need to look up the number because it was stupid. It's like how his walking was stupid.
He was getting
like the
walked
most
like
walked
crazy,
batter
man.
in
Everybody
history.
knew if you didn't walk him, there was such
gonna hit a bomb.
There was such a high percentage of a home run, you just couldn't. take
This
the
man was
chance.
getting walked with the bases loaded.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
Yeah, exactly.
How does
Like,
that guy
rather
not?
give up 4
How does that
runs
guy
or
not
one?
make it to the Hall of Fame, dude?
Steroids or not?
Steroids, man. He cheated.
You have
He was a
to
cheater.
hit.
Everybody was
Oh,
doing it.
All right.
Out of the people who didn't get in, Barry Bonds, Roger
Clemens is another
Sammy
guy.
Sosa,
I knew people that were taking steroids in college, dude. Just like
Bonds
8 years ago.
should have got in.
who cares? It's still happening, man. The dude
Barry
hit
Bonds is
700 plus home
generational.
runs.
One time.
Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire, like they were the biggest thing going on when I was growing up as a kid. They saved
Dude, that's
baseball.
the only
Man.
reason baseball came back. The steroid era.
Dude, I
Hitting
remember
home
those
runs.
years. Sammy Sosa, that Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa home run
Yep.
chase was so
Generational.
exciting.
That would be like
Like,
Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, like having some kind of other issue, and they're like, you know what? Let's just disgrace him forever, even though they saved the game. Like, they literally, Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa saved the game. They ejected themselves a little bit. It's okay.
Dude,
they may get a couple shots in the ass, but that's fine. It's fine.
Dude, all I think of growing up and playing like the old MVP baseball games and stuff is me playing with Mark McGuire. Like, that's what I think of. Just hitting bombs, dude, with Mark McGuire.
Dude's got squinty eyes.
Dude, that's what brought his, like, low stance. Like, he had a low hitting. Like, that's what I think of when I think of, like, my childhood.
Power hitters. Mo Vaughn.
McGuire, Sammy Sosa. Like, that's what I think of, man.
I love
them not to get in the Hall of Fame sucks.
Like, who are these old power hitters, man? Like, we got Rafael Palmeiro was my favorite player for.
And then he tested positive, and now he's not going to
the
the Hall of Fame. It's just,
yeah. And it was like,
man,
crazy, he was my favorite Ranger.
Does it feel like he should be in it? I don't care if he's positive, man.
I mean, the way things are going, you know what? Let's inject everyone. Let's see how good this game gets.
Yes, dude.
Man. Can
Let's
you
see how many
imagine
home
this
runs.
game,
Dude.
That's how we fix baseball.
So
We give everyone steroids.
I thought of something, right? It was like, let's make a sports league, baseball, football, whatever, and make everything legal. Literally anything.
Well,
Imagine the superhumans you'd get playing baseball. You'd get like 125-mile-an-hour fastballs out here.
There's probably so many health. There's so many health issues related with that, dude.
But imagine it, though. You'd have like 560-foot home runs, like just mammoth bombs.
That would be exciting. Can you imagine? Dude, oh my God. Can you imagine freaking Yankees outfielder Judge on steroids?
Oh, gosh.
You literally have like 130-mile-an-hour fastballs getting hit for like 600-foot bombs.
What about Chapman pitching with steroids? How fast do you think he throws?
Dude, 130.
Oh my God, Aroldis Chapman.
130.
107?
I mean, he's probably, honestly,
he's on the juice.
He's on the juice.
He's on the juice for sure.
That's what you get. Like, that's Aroldis Chapman. We're just tossing out accusations.
Well, speaking of guys who need to be tossed out, Pete Rose is officially tossed out of baseball forever.
That's hard to believe.
The lines that are drawn with baseball is so weird, right? Like, Pete Rose is banned. He is banned for betting on baseball, right?
While he played,
right? He said he never betted against his own team or anything like that, but he was a gambler in baseball. And like, something that is so funny to me is that the MLB was one of the first team to like cooperate and kind of partner with these gambling sites and like all these people and bringing it to their sports and trying to make a profit from it. Like, why are we fighting this? Let's make it a part of us. They were one of the first major league sports to do it. And it's still a thing of like, nah, even though we're like good with this, Pete Rose, you're still not okay. Like, and Pete Rose is one of the best, hardest playing baseball players there ever was. And it just feels like, how are you going to ban Barry Bonds, Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa, Roger Clemens, and like off of that stuff and still leave Pete Rose out for the thing that they're doing? You know what I mean?
Like, for betting on baseball when they're literally allowing it now.
I don't want to say he did nothing wrong because he betted on what he was playing, but he had no enhancements.
Served a lot of time.
He had no enhancements. He literally played clean baseball, and they banned him.
Could have hit better than almost anybody ever.
He understood hitting more than anybody that's played the game. And
did you see the way he would run? The way he would run and like dive to get to a base, like the intensity of just that alone was. That guy played so hard.
All gone because he bet on
times have changed, right?
It's
like
crazy,
MLB
man.
is partnering with these
times change for everybody but Major League Baseball.
Right. They're so slow. You're right. That's baseball for you. They're slow. Let's start steroiding all the players and get this game back.
Talking about things changing in baseball, the college football sport has been completely different for like the last 2 years. The transfer portal has completely changed college football. You can literally go wherever you want, play for whoever you want to play for.
Right?
Lincoln Riley goes to USC, right? one of the biggest names in football. They're not really that good, but they have a brand in California. And him moving to USC literally opens the transfer portal and gets people like Caleb Williams, his old quarterback at OU, to meet him at USC. It's just crazy to me that that's even happening in college football.
Yeah, that would have been a certain level of fine, and their team would have been suspended. The coach been
how
suspended.
much tampering do you think happened there, right?
Oh, yeah. You think Caleb Williams knew before the season was over that he was going to USC? He probably
Absolutely.
did, right?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, that's the guy who recruited him. At the same time, though, like, this isn't anything new for the head coaches. This has been happening for the head coaches. They have no commitments. They say, hey, I'm going to be here for you. Like, I'm not going anywhere. And then they leave the same year. Like, so there's nothing new with that. The only thing that's new is that now the players can do it. And they can actually get paid with NIL and make some money for themselves. And not the schools just making money off of their backs and their names. Like, so I think it's good as far as, like, players being able to do that. But, man, does it change the game. Like,
it's going to be really
if you're not
interesting.
starting – what's that, Sam?
I was just going to say it's going to be really interesting to see how USC unfurls. Like, they got Lincoln Riley now. Now they got the quarterback. And anybody who watched him or hasn't watched Caleb Williams play, that dude is going to be probably the best player in the league. He is next year. So if they can put anything around him at USC, which it looks like they've had a lot of transfers already, that team is going to have some potential. So I don't know. I'm ready to see how college football plays out.
He was supposed to be what Spencer Rattler was supposed to be this past year.
Yeah, he is what Spencer Rattler was supposed to be.
Yeah, which is going to be interesting. The only other thing that I think with this, like, transfer portal, NIL, like, all this stuff, like, people being able to move, is nobody is willing to wait behind anyone else anymore.
Yeah, like, you can play somewhere else.
Yeah, and pressure and competition,
and and then you're shooting yourself in the foot money wise if you're not giving yourself the opportunity to play somewhere, because you have the chance of making money if you do well.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's going to be some big changes in the sport of college football. I like that the players can get paid now, and I like that they can do the things that head coaches do already, and kind of do things for themselves, to take care of themselves with money and, better opportunities. But man, the game is going to change.
I think we should.
But I think from that point on, we've spent we have so much to talk about with sports, but let's hit the gaming topics, because we got to get into that. We got a lot of good things that happened over the past weekend. We had our first giveaway. It was a lot of fun. We had some technical difficulties, but it turned out well. We had DV Bean. We did a giveaway. She streamed on TikTok, and we had YouTube, and it was a lot of fun. So you guys look out for our next live stream. We'll advertise like we did this last time.
Make sure you guys really look out for that, because one of the things we're really trying to build on this podcast is a community. And when we go live on, like, YouTube and stuff like that, it's a direct place for you guys to interact with us. We see y'all's messages, and how we did those giveaways was interacting with the chat. So whenever we go live and stuff like that, we really want you guys to come in and, like, interact with us, so we can get to know you guys and know who's listening and what you guys think about what we're doing.
I know everybody that did attend it said they had a blast. So
it was a good time, man. It was a lot of fun, especially for the first one, and how much trouble we had. It was a good time.
I think
we gave away $70, and I think everybody who was there, even the ones who didn't win, felt like they won some kind of money. It was a lot of fun. It was a really good time.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't listened to that interview yet, make sure you guys go back one episode, because that interview is money. Go listen to that.
It's funny.
It's a funny interview.
It's interesting.
A lot of good insight from a TikTok content
I'm looking
creator.
forward. The biggest thing I'm looking forward to that's kind of come out of that is DV Bean going into the streaming side of her setup and getting that worked out, so that way she can go live with her best capabilities.
Yeah, for sure.
But with streaming and gaming and content creating, there's some news that came out with Sony. Sony's Bungie, which I'm not too familiar with Bungie. So it'd be Sam and Paul. You guys would have to
So
tell me
so
more about that.
Bungie-
is, Paul.
So Bungie is pretty much the creators of what made Halo, Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, which is like a prime generational game.
And Destiny.
And Destiny. Yep. So Bungie and Destiny are probably Halo and Destiny are probably the two biggest games Bungie has. And that's the big thing. So I don't know if they just
to me it's interesting.
We don't have the money.
To me, what I got out of the whole signing or payout or whatever you want to call it of Sony getting it, it's kind of to me like they had to do something because Activision was just purchased by Microsoft.
Yeah.
So Microsoft has leverage at this point to make Call of Duty at some point just Xbox.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And PC. And Sony is like, well, if you're going to hang that over our head, we're going to take Halo from you, and Destiny, which have been two of the biggest games only for Xbox. Yeah. We're going to bring them to Sony, potentially.
That's
so it seems like a big fight going on between the major companies. But we'll see how it plays out. Maybe they just keep everything crossplay like it is now. But
I gotta let my dog outside.
It was a little bit of a power play by Sony.
I think that's what it was. I think they saw Microsoft taking off, and Microsoft obviously they're direct competitors with Xbox. I think they saw Microsoft taking off. They're making moves. Microsoft is making money moves, and they're like, "Well, what's the next biggest thing we can do? Let's buy Halo. Let's buy Destiny, the biggest two games." I think the funniest thing though, I saw a lot of people online. So there were so many people who bought Destiny 2, which is like a really good game if you haven't played it. Go try it. They bought it for full price, right? And now, since Sony bought Destiny 2, you can get it for free on PlayStation. So they just wasted all that money on Destiny 2. Oh, God.
I didn't know
unfortunate.
That's funny.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Well, talking about Sony, right? And PlayStation making people buy stuff they shouldn't. What's your two guys' favorite console?
Favorite console of all time. I want to throw mine out there first, just because I feel like it's going to be maybe different from what you guys have. When I think about my whole life of gaming, I think the most fun, least amount of possibility for raging, and just the most pure fun I've had on a console has got to be the GameCube, the Nintendo GameCube, and they had those tiny little discs that were a little center of a donut, and I used to play Mario anything. Mario baseball, Mario tennis. It didn't matter what the Mario game was, but the graphics and everything were so awesome for that time, like Smash Bros. So for me, it's the Nintendo GameCube was my favorite console, and it was the first really portable feeling device. There was literally a hook on the back of the cube, and you could carry it around if you wanted to take it somewhere. Obviously, you used to have to transfer cords or whatever, but that, and they also had things like memory cards were available. And you could take your memory to another friend's house. So there was so many cool things with the GameCube that I remember really liking. For me, that's what stands out. What about you guys?
Well, I'm gonna go next just because GameCube is also my pick. And Super Nintendo Super Nintendo was up there for me. And I played Super Nintendo, Nintendo was in my younger years. And it was a lot of fun. They have a lot of cool games. But GameCube just brings me to a time of gaming where I just was really into it. Super Smash Bros was such a big game on Nintendo GameCube, and it was so fun, just all the characters at that time that you could play. And then not only that, there's Mario Kart, and man, we're really taking this back to all of these Mario games. But even going from Super Nintendo Super Nintendo was big Mario games also. So there's just a transfer to going into GameCube, and then the graphics.
It was the Super Nintendo on steroids, man. It was so much better.
It was just an awesome game. It was small, discreet. It was a cube, which was awesome. It had the small discs that were cool too. There was so much about it that was just so cool. And it just reminds me of a good time in life, and being at an age of just being really involved in the gaming and So yeah, GameCube for me is it also.
That's surprising. I didn't know that was going to happen. Cool.
So for me, I'm a generation. Well, I'm 2 generations from Junior and 1 generation from Sam. So I got to go a little newer because I played GameCube, obviously, but I was like at the end of the GameCube era whenever I was started gaming. But I kind of want to pick on 2 because I kind of have 2 reasons for each of these. So I think I'm gonna go 360, Xbox 360 on 1.
Wow,
that's a good one too.
That's whenever I was like my prime gaming. That's when Halo 3 released. Like that's what I think of when I started gaming. Halo 3, Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty 4, like fighting for that Xbox 360 to play. Like
Fight
that's
Night
what
Champion.
I think.
Yeah,
of,
when
man.
we had one and we'd have to share it, that was
Dude, I remember the day I got my Xbox 360. The only game I got was Kung Fu Panda, and I grinded that shit, dude. Kung Fu Panda. I beat that in like a day. I was excited.
Do you guys remember going to like Blockbuster and like renting a game from Blockbuster and just grinding that game for like a week and then returning it?
Oh my god,
that was such a big thing.
Junior, I don't know if you remember this, but do you remember, Paul? I remember we were really getting into online play, and we were having to figure out how to get everybody's Xbox to connect to internet because you had to have it connected to Ethernet cord for it to work. It was before Wi-Fi was really strong. And we literally drilled a hole in our living room wall, and we routed a like 100-foot Ethernet cord all the way around the living room, like across the ceiling, and through a hole in the wall that we drilled. We fed it through with like a hanger, like a metal hanger that we stuck in. And we fed it through to Paul's Xbox so he could play with us online.
I remember that, dude.
Such a good time.
That's awesome.
That's the stuff I think of whenever I started gaming. Yeah. Xbox 360. I think that's going to be top for me, like, when I think of memories and gaming. But if I'm talking about, like, the best gaming and that, I got to go PC. But memory-wise, I'm going to go 360 because that's got a lot of good memories for me.
It's just good times, man. It's good times.
Yeah, that was really, really, really good stuff.
I think favorite console is a cool topic. I think we need to maybe post that and see if we can get some response from our viewers and stuff, just to hear what other people think.
Yeah, we should do that for sure and see what they think, see what memories come up with them. But you know, like on memories, I just think about like memories and something that I've been doing recently, which is really funny, makes me feel super nerdy, is I found Magic the Gathering on my phone. And I have been playing the shit out of Magic the Gathering on my phone. You guys remember that? Like the card game? For me in school, people would play Magic the Gathering in like high school. Like
I have no place of memory in my brain at all of Magic the Gathering.
That's so crazy.
But you sounded so hype, I downloaded it the other day, dude.
Let's go! Dude! Did you start playing?
I don't know what's happening at all.
Dude, you have to learn.
I'm doing
so much.
I'm doing the tutorial. I don't know yet.
Dude, there is so much. There's so many cards. There's so many abilities in these cards. It is crazy. Dude. I've been so into it. I've been destroying people, and then I'll play somebody, and I'll get destroyed in like 10 seconds. And I'm like, I don't even know what the hell just happened. Like, it's been so much fun. And I don't have to carry all these cards around or understand like how it works. Like the phone basically teaches you how to do it. Like if you're fucking up something, it tells you, hey, you can't do this or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, but it has been so fun, which reminds me of like another game. So I love playing The Witcher. I've been playing I've had it for 6, 7, 10 years, and I still haven't played it all the way through. I just keep on restarting. But anyways, they have a card game in The Witcher that's called Gwent. And it reminds me of that a little bit. And I'll go around the whole map just playing all these freaking people in that game. Like just playing Gwent. Playing a game within the game.
You're playing Magic and everywhere you can.
But yeah, I've been nerding out hard on Magic the Gathering. Which has been so funny.
It blows my mind that Junior's playing that now, right? And Sam, you're like, I have no knowledge. So when I was in high school, there was literally people carrying around decks of that stuff playing, which blows my mind because Junior knows about that in school.
Really?
It just skipped you, And me,
I was just probably. I bet it was happening. I was just probably.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it was just the people we were around, but like
that was just that jock. Just
that jock guy.
Care.
Nobody. I was that guy in the engineering class eating lunch there while everybody played Magic cards. That's who I was.
I think for me, when I was younger, like Pokemon was a huge thing. When I was like,
I remember trading Pokemon cards, but yeah,
massive. Y'all remember when Grandma threw all those Pokemon cards away in plastic bags? God, you know how much money we could have made.
I do remember.
Oh my God, Paul is a collector of things, and he sees the value of things all the time.
I'll have to bring out my pop collection on one of these videos and my sports card collection one day.
DB Stocks is a big collector.
I got a collection going. It's good stuff.
Okay, well, I think this is a good point to go to this topic, which I really liked. Worst rage moment where you either broke something or just raged terribly. And for people that don't even know what raged means, because there are some people that listen that don't know what gaming is, raging is like, it's like being in road rage. Something happens that somebody else does or whatever that makes you just furious and you can't control yourself. That's what sometimes that happens with gaming. But I want to hear Junior's story first because I know kind of the basis of his. But
oh man, all right. So, man, young adolescent. Junior, when I was a kid, PlayStation. My rage moment was on PlayStation, original PlayStation. And it was playing a game. Oh my gosh, what is the girl with the? She was like some sort of adventurer. She held a Tomb Raider, 2 pistols, Tomb Raider. The game was Tomb Raider. It was the first Tomb Raider that came out on PlayStation, and I remember I had to keep playing this one part over and over because I kept dying. And the part that it was is I was in a cave and I'm fighting some sort of cat. I can't remember if it was a tiger or a cougar or whatever it was, but I could not beat the shit out of this tiger and it would beat me over. And finally I got to a point where I just got so pissed off that I like slammed my controller on the PlayStation. Slam my controller on the PlayStation, and my PlayStation would not read disc anymore after that. It would not read disc anymore.
You have to explain that to Mom.
Oh my God. I never played it again. I never brought it up. I never said anything about it. I just stopped.
How much trouble would you have gotten in if you told Mom or Dad that you broke that thing?
God. I think about that with my kids now. If my kids were to do that, I'd be so pissed because it's expensive, especially for we did not grow up with the most money, so I can imagine how pissed.
If they found out that was broke, you would have been red ass.
I stopped reading discs, dude. I tried fixing it. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
So everybody knows
that was it.
About me having a rage side, or you should at this point, from new games. But I was a pretty mellow person for most of my life up until later on. I kind of opened up. But one of my funniest memories to me is actually a story about somebody else raging, and it's Junior. Junior again, back-to-back rage stories. So for me, we were playing this race car game, and I remember we were playing this one track over and over because he couldn't beat me, and I was 7, and he's however old he is, 14. I don't know, but he could not beat me, and it was hilarious. We were going down this track over and over, and it was a racetrack. The last part of it was going through a roller coaster. So you would do loops and stuff, and then you would come through all the way to the finish. And I remember this last time I beat him for the 6th time in a row. And I woo, I won. And then I look over, and next thing I know, I'm just getting a fist to the chest, dude, as hard as possible. Junior just destroyed me. I had a bruised sternum for 2 weeks.
That would explain a lot if it were me. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Paul's got pigeon chest. No, but luckily, I think my sternum's been it's got an extra layer of cartilage in there because of that scar tissue. I don't know, but Junior destroyed my chest. That's one of my favorite rage stories.
Heck yeah!
Oh my gosh, man. That's 2 rage moments by me. That's not cool, Paul. You need to get in here.
No. Okay, so this one's on me, which DV Dirk she may hear me right now, so I'm going to keep this quiet because she doesn't know.
All right. Just keep it quiet. We don't want anybody to hear this.
Anybody who's played NBA 2K knows about some raging, right?
Right.
So the last NBA 2K I played is NBA 2K15, and there's a reason for it. So I was at the point where, like, I mean, we were playing Playground, we were playing, like, My Court, like, we were going into games, right? And I was at the point where, like, I was like, oh, God, I'm supposed to be at work right now. I got to call out. So I'd call out to work, we'd be playing NBA. Like, I was money. I was the guy who created, like, a 5'6" James Harden who was, like, a dunker, and he just get blocked all game. I was that guy. But, so there was this one game specifically, we were playing 5-on-5, 5 online people on each team, and I was having a bad game, and I just could not make any shots, open or not, and I hit this green release. So if you don't know what a green release in 2K is, it is a perfect release, 100% perfect, and I missed on 2K15 when you can still miss on a green release, which is perfect. You can't hit it any better. I missed my shot, and after a bad game on 2K, oh man, that controller got slammed so hard on the floor. It broke, it shattered, it was cracked. Desiree came home, she was like, what happened to your controller? And I was like, well, you know, the cat cracked, like knocked it off the table, and it got pretty cracked. So to this day, she does not know I slammed that controller on the ground.
So if you're listening, everybody,
green release on 2K, dude.
Please don't repeat this. This is for the podcast only. Not repeat.
Let's all see if she finds out. If she listens.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait and find out.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that text.
Well, speaking of different games, because we all play different stuff. Sam is super devoted to Smite. I think he's made us all go through a Smite phase, because I had a Smite phase, and now
I like
he's
Smite.
kind of trying
Smite's
to
fun.
I wish you guys would
trying
come
to
back.
build Junior and Bina into a Smite phase because he wants people to play Smite with. It's a very difficult game to learn.
Yeah, so basically,
But-
I got a story, right?
So what happened? Yeah, tell us.
I
what
made a
happened.
new friend on Smite.
Yeah, let's go. You
So
got a
that-
Smite friend.
He needs that. It's great. So what happened was I was playing a Smite, and I went into a lobby, right, just by myself, like normal, because all you guys suck. And I'm playing by
I'm a
myself.
prime jungle.
This guy sends me a party invite, Xbox party invite. So I'm like, oh man, he's an Xbox Smite player. That's cool because it's crossplay. It's like, I'll join him. Just, maybe he's going to be a dick. I was honestly thinking, I'm going to join this and he's going to be like, wow, that was a stupid pick. Why'd you pick that character? But I joined it, and he's a super nice guy. I don't want to say his name yet, and honestly, I don't remember his gamer tag. It's been so recently. But we played like 7 games in a row together after that.
Of Conquest? That's
Of
like
Conquest.
7 hours.
It
Dude,
was
that's like 7 hours.
Smite, dude. And we
Holy
won.
hell.
We won like 6 in a row. But the thing was, we were dominating so hard. It didn't take 7 hours to play the 7 games because the other team was surrendering because we were whooping their ass so hard. So it was a good day for me. We probably played 7 games in like a half hour. Like every
Oh, wow.
Jesus
every
Christ.
5
Yeah,
to
that's
10
impressive.
minutes, the other team was surrendering.
That's impressive.
But
That's dude, I'm happy
Those
for
of you who have
Thanks,
not
man.
played Smite, if you get in a good game of Smite, it takes 30 minutes plus to finish that game.
Yeah.
So 7
It's
games in 30
crazy.
minutes is
I just
unimpressive.
love that game, dude, because you have to have such great teamwork to win a game if it's really
You do.
a level even match. There's so much coordination. It's required so much strategy, which is why I love it so much.
Blueprint guy over here. Of course he would love it.
And there's over 100 characters in the game.
Yeah,
to
that
play
is
with.
pretty
That's why you like the game, because you can just go through 100
Dude,
characters
it's
and
like
never be bored.
There's endless.
That's why you like
there's
it.
endless amounts of combos between 100 characters. Can you imagine?
And all the items.
And it exists. It's real.
Well, I think on that point, that's a good way to wrap up this episode because
I agree.
Sam made a new friend. He made a new friend.
Why not?
And that's what
has
we're
no
trying to do. We're
friends.
trying to build community. We're trying to build a community. We want these people to play with, like in these different games,
Right.
and share these either sports stories also. So, very happy Sam made a friend. But on that note, I think we'll wrap this thing up, and we can't wait to do our next episode, and we'll have another interview coming at the end of the month.
We should have our next episode really should be covering Super Bowl, right? So keep an eye out for that.
Yep,
It's gonna be big. Joey B, baby.
Let's go. All right, you guys take it easy. Let's get lit, y'all. Let's get lit. All right. We'll see you guys later.
We just wanted to say thanks again, everybody, for listening to this episode of the DV Sports and Gaming Podcast. With that said, we wanted to give you guys a proper outro. Here we go.
All right, guys. So please follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We have DV Sports and Gaming for Instagram. Our TikTok is DV Sports Gaming, and our YouTube is DV Sports and Gaming. We post all kinds of videos, all kinds of clips, sports related, and also just gaming clips. So please subscribe and follow.
And don't forget to utilize our social medias to interact with us and give feedback on the podcast and content that we create. We want to build a community around sports and gaming with our fans and listeners. And as always, guys, thanks for listening to the DV Sports and Gaming Podcast. We'll see you guys next time.